up. We're going to get the energy going a little bit. Just a little bit. And then we're going to get into exercise and why we did this in a little bit with Marcus. So go ahead and stand up really quick.
How do you stand
Not just to stretch a little bit, but what we're going to do is just, I might need some music for this one. We might crank it up a little bit. But what we're going to do is we're just going to run in place for like 15, 20 seconds. All right? So everybody just run in place as fast as you can. Run in place, run in place, run in place. I'm kind of counting in my head. Keep going. That's 10 more seconds. Keep going. All right, now jump. Jump. Everybody jump. Everybody jump. For 20 seconds. Everybody jump. Get the energy going. Get the oxygen moving. Go. Come on, move. Yes. I like it, Rick. Good. Okay, one more time. Run in place. Run in place. Keep going. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, sit down. Good job, guys. Mindy, can you hit the lights?
But there is a way to achieve that and succeed at it. That everybody here wants someone to share that with. Nobody in this room wants to be alone. Now, here's the reality. Some of you may right now choose to be alone. But that's a choice you've made out of the basis of pain, I'm going to guess. And so you govern your life now according to the hurt, rather than experience the beautiful hope that God has for you. No matter how you're choosing to live right now, still in the depth of you, you wish you went alone. That is a fact of life. Everybody here wants someone to share it with. Everybody here wants to have self-respect. And we talked about that. And one of the things that we share is this, which is so sad, is so few people like who they are. It's part of the reason that Satan sticks this out here. Because we think we'll become someone if we can get this, and then this becomes our identity. And yet God didn't make a mistake. And yet how many people, how many girls chase the fantasy of looks and the image idol? How many men chase the fantasy and the image of success and power? And it's all trying to find this. So I can look in the mirror and like the world. But you're basing it wrong because you think it starts here. And I will tell you how many girls think, if I find the right guy who will treat me, then I can feel good about myself. And we run everything backward. But in the end, everybody wants to have significance. We all want to have significance in us. But we all do. We all want to have significance. We want to know that when we pass on, when we die, we've left the world a better place. But here's the problem. Man runs this way to find their significance. Our natural marketing world is they tell us, you want to be someone, chase the American dream. Because once you have this, you're going to have incredible relationships, and oh my goodness, you're going to feel good about you, and then you can pass something on. And here's the sad truth is, everything you get here, you lose. You pass nothing on. It has any value, any worth. And do you know why that is? Because it is God who created us, and only God can pass on that which is of God. Nothing that man can create in itself. And so then Paul tells us, but there is a way. Don't run the bases backward. How many people have gotten this, and they forfeited this, and they cheated that? They cheated themselves, but most importantly, they cheated God. God says, I've got a different way. Start with me. And then run the bases the way a baseball game was meant to be played. You don't run the third, you run the first. Do it the right way. If you want your life to matter, then you need to understand that I'm not going to change the world around you. I'm only concerned about the world within you. And so the very first thing that God does, if he's going to be first in our life, he's going to change us. Because when he changes us and we begin to grow, now all of our relationships are what we give, not what we give. And God promises, I have fruit for your life, unbelievable, eternal fruit, when you run in the order that I created you. Me first.
Him first, always. And so some of the things that we're already talking about today is about, obviously, the power and how much we care about the stuff that's inside of you. Creating you first and then making sure that we run those bases the right direction so that we can be successful. We can leave legacies. We can do these things in our lives. It's a very, very powerful sermon that I watch every now and then just to remind me. This is Mark Driscoll, by the way. And so we can look at really how people go about lives backwards and how we chase that American dream that he talks about, how he chases success. So today we're about creating the inside of us so that we can be successful on the outside. We have to start thinking about now the inside. We start thinking about not only our nervous system, our mindset, but now it's about the nutrition that we're going to put in. God created certain food for our bodies to heal, to be well. Talks about Daniel, the Daniel diet. Read that book when you get home. It'll remind you, it'll inspire you of why you're going to eat and why you're going to do things the way that you're going to do for the next 30, 60, 90, 120, the rest of your life. My wife and I, we don't follow an advanced plan like this, right, every day of our life. We probably eat about 80% of the advanced plan and then 20% of what we call core plan. And yes, we do have vacation days. And yes, there is days where I don't eat the best of best food. I'll have a piece of chocolate or something every now and then. We're not perfect. But the idea, though, is that if we fall off the wagon, how fast can we get back on it to make sure that we're doing the right things for our life? Right? So it's not about having this idea of perfection. What I like to say is that we don't demand perfection. What we do is we strive towards perfection. If you think about we demand perfection, well then if you don't have perfection in your life, then you fail, right? And then you're done. But if we're always striving towards perfection, we're always going somewhere. We're always striving towards it. And this is something that I talk about with my son Kellen, is that, buddy, we're not perfect. We never will be perfect. There's only one person in this world that's ever perfect. But we can strive to be like that every single day of our life. We can strive to be perfect. It takes a little bit of pressure off. Not only you or him or me, but we're always striving to get better. So we strive to eat better. We talked earlier about the American diet. We talked about the sad reality of what it's creating, the disease that it's creating, the dysfunction that it's creating, the sickness that it's creating, not only in us as adults, but us as kids, and our infants and our toddlers. And it's not just kids that can eat whole food, right? I look at the formulas that infants are on. And you can just read the amount of ingredients and chemicals and crap in those types of products. We really have to be careful. We're going to talk about toxins in a little bit. We have to be careful about the things that we put in and what we expect it to do. Let thy food be thy medicine. This was said a long time ago. Let thy food be thy medicine. Food is going to help you heal. Food is going to make your body processes work. Yes, your nervous system function, control. It demands where things need to go. It controls. It's a control center. The food that you take in, the nervous system has to apply that food to certain places. If you take in poor food, well, then you're going to have poor cells, you're going to have poor organs, you're going to have poor muscles, you're going to have a poor brain. If we take in great things, then we have great cells, great organs, great tissue, great muscles, great brain. It's cause and effect. So we really have to pay attention to our food.
It's dinner time on the East Coast in less than an hour. People are going to die.
Sir, we've got a boy on the hotline who says he might know something.
Who is this?
My name isn't important. What matters is that the answer is in the pyramid.
Pyramid? That's ancient stuff you're talking about. Are you sure? Bring up the pyramid.
What is it for?
We built the pyramid a long time ago to illustrate how much people should eat of the 4 basic food groups. Sir, we abandoned the pyramid when Michelle Obama got involved. The pyramid doesn't work. We've already tried it.
It's upside down.
What?
Sir, the pyramid is upside down.
Turn the pyramid upside down.
You can't be serious. That would put butter and fat at the top
Flip
of
the food pyramid!
This is not FDA approved.
It's East Coast in 10 minutes. Now do it!
nutrition is stabilizing.
Get the president on the phone. Tell him to have some steak with his butter.
I love South Park, and I love this. I haven't seen it in a long time, but this is one of my favorite episodes that was on South Park. And they finally got it right? Let's flip it upside down. So that's what we're going to talk about, is how do we flip that food pyramid upside down so that we get all our fats and the healthy oils and everything that we need in our bodies first, and then the grains become last. Right? We completely eliminate grains and dairy. Completely different from what we're actually taught in our lives. So what we're going to go through is how to clean up our carbs, how to fix our fats, how to perfect our protein in our lives, and then ultimately, how do we trash the toxins? How do we get rid of the toxins that are in our food and around us on a daily life? So this is kind of the second half of what we're going to be covering and going through. We all know how bad sugar is, right? I mean, we all know how much of a neurotoxin sugar is. We need to talk about, and I love this, there's a little skull on the sugar. It says a quick source of energy at a price. And it does cause a price. Sugar has been linked to increase in cancers, increase in diabetes, increase in Alzheimer's, increase in Parkinson's. Every single chronic illness out there, sugar has been linked to. So if we want to have cancer, just keep eating sugar. That's the plain and simple fact about it. Every single one of us has cancer cells growing inside of us right now. In fact, we have upwards of 100,000 cancer cells in us right now. The reason that we don't have full-blown tumors and things along those lines is because our immune systems find it. They get rid of it, as long as they're working and functioning like they're supposed to. So the more that we can decrease sugar in our life, the more that we can actually decrease sugar, the better our bodies are going to function, and the better our bodies will work. Kids these days, right? Read this statement. This is really, really critical. Today, by the time the average child has developed in this country, turns 8 years old, they've had more sugar in their lives than the average person did in an entire lifetime just 1 century ago.
Oh my gosh.
An entire lifetime by the time they're 8 years old. It tells you how much sugar. I mean, sugar is in everything. I mean, it's kind of crazy because when we take our son places, or kids that are living on like a maximized living type of style or diet and a lifestyle, you take them places and they'll try something a little bit sweeter and they're like, oh, yuck. But on the other hand, you give a kid who is used to all the sugar, all the sweets, all the grains, all the rices, all the junk, and then you give them like vegetables, and what do they say? Yeah, because it's not sweet. It doesn't have that quick like neurological reflex. Sugar is obviously very, very terrible, and we see it in so many different products. So we're going to go through on how to clean that up, and that's ultimately what the challenge is about too, is to get us thinking about other food sources and where we can actually go to buy our foods. It's not buying food out of a box, guys. It's not some Weight Watchers or, and I don't want to pick on too many other, companies out there, right? I mean, there's all sorts of them, but they sell you your food in a box that has chemicals and things to actually preserve them. And so how do we actually go to the grocery store, buy the right foods, do the right thing, so that becomes a lifestyle sustainability type of event? This is what we look at when we've taken proteins. So how do we balance the sugar? Because ultimately we're still going to take in sugar. Our brain needs a little bit of sugar to actually function and work. But how do we start balancing hormones and sugars in our body? That's where the importance of protein comes in. So we have to increase protein, but we're going to decrease the refined carbohydrates in our body. That's what this whole challenge is about. Refined carbohydrates, meaning it's going to break down the sugar almost instantly. We're going to talk about eating complex carbohydrates. We want to make sure that they stay in your diet, but the refined carbohydrates we want to start eliminating. Starting your day with a protein can obviously balance your blood sugars. It sustains things into the midday so you don't feel hungry by 10 or 11 o'clock. A lot of people will eat a little bit of breakfast, maybe they'll have a bagel, some toast, whatever it is, and by 9:30, 10 o'clock, they're starting to get hungry. Or the other thing that happens is they start to feel groggy, they start to feel tired, because their sugar levels are just bombing. And so how do we balance those sugar levels, have sustainability in our bodies by actually putting the right proteins in it? Protein supports your body's ability to obviously to fight type 2 diabetes as well. I've seen type 2 diabetes actually reverse in about 26 days. That's the fastest I've seen it go away. 28 days in heart disease, I've seen it go away and reverse by just changing and getting rid of the grains and the dairies in our diet. When we look at how to fix fats, now I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. We're not going to get a lot into detail on like carbohydrates and fats, because a lot of the information, guys, it's in the book. It's in the nutrition plan book, and it's also in that book that Tanya just won. It's that True Shipper Nursing Home book. Tanya, if you can hold that up. They stole it off my desk up here. I was going to use that as a Perfect. So that one right there, that one also has a 30-day plan in it in the back, so that when you get done with this 30-day plan, guess what, Tanya? You just open to the back page, right, to the back kind of section.
Looking at that.
And you have the next 30 days. So you have 60 days worth of stuff that you're getting today. So that's pretty incredible. The challenge that we're going to go through is directly related to this book. Okay? So you'll see on the challenge when it gets emailed to you, it'll tell you a recipe, and then it'll give you a page number. So for example, protein smoothie with almond butter, page 114. It's in there, page 114. Broccoli cranberry salad, page 121. 121. It's all related right here. It's super simple. You just put the two together, connect them, and away you go. All right? So through this challenge and through that book has information about your carbohydrates, your fats. Why do we change them? This is what we're going to be doing, though. Fats are essential for our body. They make your hormones. They're powerful for your brain. Your body needs it as energy. You need to have it to take in vitamins A, D, E, and K, which we'll talk about a little bit as far as vitamin D here in a little bit. Your cells need it. So all the 72, 74 trillion cells that your body is made up of, if you don't have fat, your cells aren't getting what they need in order to form the right structures, to communicate to other cells, to other tissues, to get enzymes, to get hormones. The cells won't work. They won't communicate properly. The neurology won't work between the two. You need a healthy fat to repair that body. Fat also decreases inflammation in the body. It helps get rid of the aches, the pains. It helps sustain your nutrition as far as your hunger as well. Proper omega-3 to 9 ratio is critical. Let me talk a little bit about this ratio just for a second. We're very, very dominant in this country on omega-6s and omega-9s. As the omega-6 and omega-9 go up in our lives and omega-3s go down, we don't contain the amount of omega-3 that we need, our bodies get very, very inflamed. So nuts, processed grains, those types of things, that's all 6s and 9s. Okay? So as that goes up and we don't take in the fish, and we don't take in the omega-3 fatty acid, we don't take in the krill oil, we don't do those things. Like, I mean, my grandmother used to like shove a spoonful of like cod liver oil in my mouth when I was younger. Did anybody else have a grandmother or grandfather like that? Yeah! Right, so that's how it used to be. The cod liver oil just goes in, and it was part of their daily life. I mean, that's what they did. And they had those healthy fats, and they had the balanced ratios. The problem is when the ratio gets way out of alignment, it creates inflammation. It creates an inflammatory effect in our body that can lead to a whole host of different problems. Inflammation is the root cause. It was in Time magazine about 4 years ago. It was on the cover of the magazine. It said, inflammation is the leading cause of death in people. Every single disease is related to inflammation. Inflammation. Pressure in your spinal cord from the nerve being out, the bone being out of place, guess what? That's inflammation. It's creating inflammation in your body. Toxins that you're taking into your body, guess what? It's creating inflammation between the cells, free radicals. If we exercise, guess what? It creates inflammation. So how do we balance these inflammatory things? You do it through fatty acids. So these are the good fats and bad fats. So on the left, you want to avoid things like hydrogenated oils, partially hydrogenated oils. These are going to be like cottonseed oil, your soybean oil, your vegetable oils. Canola oil is another one. As we get back down more, you see the trans fats, the rancid vegetable fats, the corn oil, canola oil. These are the ones that we want to avoid. Okay? If you have them in your kitchen and you have them right now at your house, go home and throw them away today. It was probably like $2 for a big thing, right? Just throw it away. Get rid of it. Don't use it anymore. Again, we're drawing that line in the sand, right? What's a couple of bucks to a lifetime of health, right? What's it worth? So just throw the stuff away. Get rid of it. Don't give it to your neighbor because it poisons them, right? So make sure that you just get rid of it, right? Get rid of it. Focus on the good fats. This is all in the book as well. So the extra virgin olive oil, the avocado oil, the coconut oils. These are the oils that you want to be putting into your diet on a daily basis. Because of our relationship too, by the way, this is a side note and a little bit of sidetrack. Has anybody ever shopped at Love That Olive Oil down like 4 doors down over here? So great place, great store. They have amazing oil, right? So one of the things that they printed up because they found out that we were having like a health thing. So they printed this up for us. It says the health facts and benefits of like olive oil and balsamic vinegars that they do over there as well. And they also gave you guys a coupon today too. So if you spend more than $35 over there today, you get $5 off. So those are at the front desk. You can pick up these little flyers like this and have fun shopping for your oils, right? So that's just something cool that they did because of our partnership with them. Just so you know and you're aware about. So healthy fats into the diet very, very much are very, very, very critical. Now, how do we build the omega-3s though? Right? So not only do we build them through those essential fatty acids that we were just talking about, those essential oils, but but we also put in supplement. Unfortunately, our food sources don't have the omega-3 content that it used to have. You'd have to eat tons of salmon. You have to eat salmon almost 3 times a day to get the amount of omega-3s that you need to balance out your ratios. So how do we do it? Well, we supplement it. We get it in through omega supplements. Right? If you're doing omega supplements from like Walgreens, I read an article the other day. Walgreens, Costco, Walmart, there was a huge research study on it that came out of Canada. And they actually went through some of the vitamins and some of the things that you buy from these other stores and these other places, and they tested them. Do they actually contain what they say they contain? What do you think the answer was? No, and in fact they had pesticides, they had chemicals in them, they had additives to make it fuller. So these are the things that, again, I can buy a big, huge thing, right, of omega-3s from Costco for like $10, but think about what you're getting, right? Think about what you're getting. The article's on, I've seen it online before I can print it up, I'll post it in the office and you guys can all read through it too. The reality is though, is we get what we pay for. Health, when we talk about health, we talk about, a lot of people think about, oh, my organic food, or I gotta buy clean food, or I gotta buy these supplements, I gotta get my chiropractic care, I have to do all these things that maintain health. Say on average that you're spending, I don't know, $700 to $800 a month on your health, right? $700 to $800 a month on your health. Say it's about 9, 10 grand a year, right? 10 grand a year. You're 30 years old, you live to your 90s. So 60 years, right? 60 years of 10 grand a year is how much? $600,000, right? So we get to $600,000 in 60 years, or we reverse it, and we go by the time that you're age 40, you get diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. You know how much pancreatic cancer costs in America right now per month? What do you think, Brady?
Over 200,000.
No, it's actually about $89,000 a month is what they charge for pancreatic cancer. To live maybe a month or 2 months more. Okay? So maybe they'll keep you alive for 3 months and you spend $80,000 a month. You're at how much? $240,000 in 3 months. So which is a better investment? Over a course of a decade, right? Decades and decades and decades of health, to make sure that we don't end up with just 3 extra months. It's up to you guys. It's all, these are the choices that we make, right, for health and being active. Who won the vitamin D again? Is it Willie? Willie. So we're going to talk about how important that vitamin D is to you right now, okay? A lot of people don't understand how vitamin D is very, very important. It's actually critical in our diets. Unfortunately, here in the northern hemisphere, we don't create vitamin D past about the month of maybe August into early September. And we don't create any vitamin D very, very, very rarely. We create any vitamin D until about the month of May again. So September through May, our bodies don't create vitamin D. We have to get it externally in order to supplement where we need to be. So when we don't take in vitamin D, this is what happens. So on the left side of this picture, the left side of this diagram, 20 nanograms per milliliter. This is in your blood serum. So when you go to like a medical doctor, it's called 25-OH-D3 is the name of the test. 25-OH-D3 is the name of the test. When they take your blood level, D3 blood level, if you are down in here, that means that you are susceptible to every single one of those diseases right there. As you raise your vitamin D levels in your body, this is what starts to happen. The chance of heart attack goes down. The chance of falls and fractures decreases. The chance of multiple sclerosis decreases. Chance of breast cancer decreases. The chance of all cancers decrease. The chance of type 1 diabetes decreases. Type 1 diabetes, guys. This is things that people say, oh, you're born with it. Your pancreas doesn't work, so you got to take insulin the rest of your life. I've seen 3 people get off their insulin in the course of 10 years of being a chiropractor. 2 of them that were here. So here's the thing, is that the more and more that we can get our vitamin D levels higher, the healthier you become. Vitamin D is responsible, they say, for anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 different chemical reactions that take place in your body on a daily basis. If you don't have vitamin D, you're dying, you're sick. Plain and simple, disease is building in your body. You need to have vitamin D. I like to see the number 65 to 100. 65 to 100 is the blood serum that I like. Hospitals are going to tell you anywhere from about 20, 25 to maybe 60. So if you're staying in this range, in their range, guess what you're creating?
Their payday.
Their payday. That's great, Brady. That's really good. Somebody had to use that. That was really good. Creating sickness, right? We wonder why. So why does the flu, why does our immune system go down in September, October? And why do we get sick during the winter months? Right? It's lack of vitamin D. Vitamin D needs to be present in order for your immune system to be activated. If vitamin D is not present, your immune system won't work like it's supposed to either. You need vitamin D. It's one of the most crucial most important vitamins in your body. Now you can't take vitamin D on an empty stomach. You have to take vitamin D present in the presence of fat. So in that vitamin D3 that you have, there's actually like fat soluble stuff in there, so that when you take that liquid vitamin D3, it's absorbed immediately. Okay? You have to take vitamin D with a presence of a fat. So you can take it with your omegas, you can take it while you're eating your avocados, your extra virgin olive oil, you can take it when you're doing your coconut oil. These is when you need to be taking in and putting in vitamin D, is when you're actually eating. How do we switch our protein? So not only getting a great grass-fed protein, right? That's one of the things that we want. We also want to look for hormone-free, antibiotic-free, HGH-free. These are the things that we want to make sure that we are avoiding. And we're putting in grass-fed beef, free-range chickens, wild-caught fish. We don't want to see pen-raised. We don't want to see farm-raised. That's not what you want to see. Making sure that you're looking for these words. Again, which way are we going with our health? So today we can start making choices even with our meat as far as what are we choosing to put in. One of the things I'm going to also tell you to do is, even if you are eating grass-fed red meat, to limit your red meat every single week. Okay? Red meat is still highly inflammatory to our bodies. And so we want to make sure that we're limiting red meat. We're not eating it every single day. Eat it like once a week, maybe twice a week at the most. Otherwise, eat chicken and fish. Get your protein sources from other things. Don't eat red meat every single day. Okay? Red meat, and this is a kind of a side note on why, because a lot of you are like, why does that create inflammation? Why does that create problems? Red meat, as it goes in, the primary enzymes that your body needs to break it down are called trypsin and chymotrypsin. Okay? Trypsin and chymotrypsin come from your pancreas. Trypsin and chymotrypsin are also used to break down the cell walls on a cancer cell so that it becomes visible to your immune system. So here's the thing, is that when you're eating a lot of red meat and your chymotrypsin and trypsin is getting used to process red meat in your beef, and it's not doing what it's supposed to do over here with your cancer cells, guess what grows? Follow me? So we want to limit our red meat to make sure that chymotrypsin and trypsin are present to make sure that it does what it does for your body. So limit your red meats the best we can. Fat burning smoothie. This is actually one of the smoothies in the program. You can write this down. It's unsweetened coconut milk. It's mixed berries and greens. Spinach. I want to talk to you just a second about spinach, because some people, when they hear the word spinach, man, they're just like, ugh, I hate spinach. I can't stand the taste of spinach, whatever it is. But here's what spinach does. Spinach actually has an enzyme in it that suppresses your hunger. That suppresses your hunger hormone. Okay? It's called thalkaloid. It's Thykalloids. So that's what spinach contains. So spinach is very important to suppress hunger. It also helps in obviously weight loss. Not only that, it's packed with calcium. It's packed with tons and tons of nutrients and minerals that your body needs. So spinach is very good. Just want to hit note on that. So what's our mindset going into nutrition? This is it. Clean eat, right? So we want to look for whole, nutrient-dense, naturally grown, raised foods. Whole foods. Meaning that the less ingredients, the better. If you pick up an apple, guess what an apple has in it? Apple. Well, sugar, but as long as we went more towards the Granny Smith apples, but an apple is an apple. Spinach is? Spinach. Lettuce is? Kale is? Broccoli is? Follow me? You know what's in like one of those, what are those things that a lot of people send to school with their kids?
Lunchables.
Lunchables. Have you ever read the ingredients on the back of a Lunchable? It's like plastic. That's what it looks like to me. Or yeah, it tastes like too. How about if you go to if you Google up like maybe some of the area restaurants like their like fast food chain type like strawberry like shakes. Who likes strawberry shakes from like Dairy Queen? Nobody wants to raise their hand now. So here's the thing. You'll look through the ingredients. You'll look through the ingredients in the strawberry shake, and they'll be like, "Where's the strawberries?" So the question is what is all that red chunky stuff that you're actually eating? I don't know. So let's just be mindful of reading ingredients. Yes, it'll take you a couple times, and it'll take you a little bit longer to get to the grocery store if you're not used to looking at ingredients. But long term, guess what? It becomes very, very simple and very easy. So make sure that we're looking at what we're putting in. It's all about sustaining and making a healthier lifestyle. Like Lexi said during the break, it's not about losing weight. That's not what this is about. A lot of people come to these seminars and it's like, man, I just want to lose weight. I just want to do this. Think about the bigger picture for 1 second. Think about that big why that we talked about at the beginning. Think about the function. Think about your body healing. Think about reversing the disease that maybe either in you or that is trying to get you right now. Think about the bigger picture of why we really do things. It's not just to lose a little bit of weight. That's not what this is about. It's bigger than that. It's deeper than that. And I encourage you to think deeper than that as well. Nutrition for weight loss. Obviously, these are one of the things that we want to do. Eliminate the sugars, cut the grains, right? Eat very little fruit. The fruits that we're going to eat are berries that you'll read in the book, and why we're eating berries, because they have very little sugar content. So we're not going to eat a lot of bananas and pineapples and all these things because of the sugar content. So what we're going to do, though, is we're going to actually add in berries. Avoid toxins, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and why that affects your weight loss and weight gain, and how it leads to hormone imbalances and disturbances in our body. But ultimately, how to remove the bad fats and add in those good, healthy fats that we talked to. As we do these things, then those hormones on the right side of the screen become balanced. They say that a lot of people that are overweight, they have leptin resistance. Right? They have this insulin and leptin resistance response that's actually creating problems in their body. So insulin, this fat-burning hormone, and leptin, a fat-burning hormone, and ghrelin, this hunger hormone, we have to balance those out so that they're working together versus butting heads with one another. And as we remove the grains and as we add the healthy fats, those become more in balance, and then we see weight loss being more possible.
So a lot of people associate fitness and nutrition very closely together. But this all revolves around our nervous system. And the reason for that is if your nervous system isn't working properly, do you think you can get the most out of your nutrition? Do you think you can get the most out of each exercise? So everything revolves around our nervous system. Now, unfortunately, 40% of Americans are sedentary and don't get any exercise. Exercise has so many great benefits. It decreases your chance of having the top 2 diseases. Does anybody know what those diseases are? Any ideas? Heart disease. Heart disease and cancer, exactly. Heart disease. 1 in 4 people are going to die because of heart disease. If there's 60 of us here, that means 15 of us, according to the odds, are going to die of heart disease. 1 in 2 men are supposed to get cancer in their lifetime. 1 in 3 women are supposed to get cancer in their lifetime. And that can be decreased by just fitness. Why are people sedentary? Well, 90% of people probably don't want to exercise because of energy, effort, and time. And those that do exercise, it's just very time consuming. Doing the regular cardio, doing the regular weightlifting. But any exercise is better than no exercise at all. But we want to get the best results in the shortest amount of time. So that's where metabolic conditioning comes in. And this will be part of the challenge. So you can see the right way. The right way is metabolic conditioning, which you're exercising at 90 to 100% of your heart rate. So if everyone has a pen and paper, we're going to figure out 90 to 100% of our max heart rate. This is super important. So our max heart rate is 220 minus your age. 220 minus your age. So that is how fast your heart rate goes at max. Now minus that by 18. That's 90% of your heart rate, approximately. So my heart rate, 220 minus 25, I'm 25, that's 195. Minus 18, that's 177. So what's your target heart rate?
137.
137. What's your target heart rate? 181. What's your target heart rate? Awesome. Anybody have any questions, or anybody can't figure out their target heart rate? Okay, so that's super important when we talk about metabolic conditioning. It uses the short bursts of high intensity exercise. Now, why do we need to get at short intensity exercises? Well, it's max T3. It's used for burning fat, building muscle, doing all sorts of great things for our health. Now, for building muscle, if you're women, you're not going to turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger or anything. But we need lean muscle to help burn more calories. So the 3 T's of max T3 are time, type, and tempo. Time, 12 minutes. Now, I saw you guys running and doing all sorts of exercises during our break. Now, you just have to go 11 minutes longer. That's 4 really good songs you can jam out to. Right? 4 really good songs. Now, after I'm done talking, it'll probably be about 12 minutes. So your workout would already be completed for your Saturday. Tight, it's that metabolic conditioning, so 90 to 100% of your heart rate. And tempo, super fast, high-paced tempo. Why high-intensity exercise is the best? Helps decrease your chance of cancer, helps improve your heart health, improves your lung capacity, helps regulate those blood sugar levels. Sugar is becoming an epidemic in our society. And you saw that more and more children keep consuming sugar. So how do we balance that sugar? Well, we balance that sugar by exercise. Also increasing that protein intake that we said previously. It's that fat burning, muscle building. It helps optimize our hormones. How many of us have stress in everyday life, whether it's with family, friends, you have daycare, drama in general? We need to figure out a way how to optimize those hormones. So how do we burn fat? We breathe hard to burn fat. So what happens is, when we consume oxygen, we start a process called beta oxidation. And that's a fancy term for taking a big fat molecule, breaking it up, and then using it. So why does metabolic conditioning work? Well, if you look at the graph at the left, that's classic cardio. We consume a moderate amount of oxygen, and then after the workout's over, it immediately drops, and we don't burn very many calories after the workout's already completed. But if you look at to the right, for 12 minutes, we're consuming a ton of oxygen. And then when the workout is completed, our body's still trying to catch up. It's still consuming a lot of oxygen. So that's why you burn more calories after the workout's already completed. And that's how metabolic conditioning works. So here's Tony and Mary. They came to an event like this, and Tony lost 20 pounds. 20 pounds in 30 days. Now, that could be you. That could be your goal. That could be your purpose is weight loss. But you really have to find out what your purpose is. Mary got off her heart medication and feels 20 years younger. You're literally 30 days away from hitting your goals. Find your purpose. And if you haven't written down your purpose or your why yet, I strongly advise you to do so now. My why is pretty simple. My great-grandpa, both of them didn't live till they were 65. My grandpas, both of them didn't live till they were 65. Disease took over their body. And I said, dang it if I'm going to go down that path. Because I don't want to follow in those footsteps. I'm doing everything in my power by following the 5 essentials so that I don't follow in those footsteps. I want to be able to play with my children, play with my grandchildren. That's my why. So how do you get a hold of Max T3? Well, Max T3 was a challenge. If you look down here, you have all your juicing, or your juicing up top, your meals, and at the bottom, you'll have your exercise workout plan. So if you don't have Max T3 and you're doing the challenge, you need to get Max T3. If you're a part of Orange Theory or something that they have really high intensity exercise, at 90 to 100%, then you'll be okay. But if you're doing a Lifetime or Anytime Fitness where you're not doing the metabolic training, then you definitely need to get the program today. Exercise also deals great with detoxing your body.
When you say get the program, I don't understand what you mean.
Okay, we have a DVD.
Oh,
Do we have a DVD up here? Yep. Right here. So DVD.
okay.
Yep, and then it'll show you what workout you have to do which day. Any other questions? Now, exercise also helps with detoxing our body. So this is antioxidants for exercise recovery.
So after we exercise and after we pound out all this work, our bodies are going to be inflamed. We talked about that earlier. Inflammation kills, right? And so not only from daily toxins in our workouts, this is one of the greatest products that I've seen. And the reason being is because it contains curcumin, which is a derivative of turmeric. Okay? So this is what it does. So not only does it help you decrease inflammation in your body, but there's a thing that all cells are supposed to do. All cells are supposed to die except for cancer cells. Cancer cells don't go through this natural process. They don't die. And so not only does exercise decrease your risk of having cancer by 300% by oxygenating your body and alkalizing it, we can do things to radically change the inflammatory effect in our body by getting in turmeric and curcumin. This is what it does. So on the stages at the top, this is what curcumin and turmeric do, and then it actually leads to apoptosis. You can see that through that diagram. This is the importance of that. I would say that curcumin or turmeric in your diet is almost as important as vitamin D. Is helping your immune system and helping it function. It is that important to make sure that you're either taking a liquid form or you're taking a pill form to help with the amount of inflammation that you have in your body on a daily basis. So, a lot of people like to have the pats on our back, right? We're motivated through other people saying, hey, good job, you did awesome, right? So if you're one of those people, which is okay, because I'm the same way, right? I love when people say, hey, you're doing a great job, you're doing awesome, it gets recognized, but is it about being recognized? No, it's not about that, but it kind of feels good, right? When somebody recognizes your great work, your hard work, and what you're doing. Well, this is what one of our patients did. They actually started a challenge, right? They started a challenge, different challenges, our cancer killer one. They started back in November, went through December, and the days that they did, the days that they incorporated every single essential into their life are the days that they gave themselves stars. Okay? So, you can see the month of November, even through Thanksgiving, right? There's ways to make it through Thanksgiving if our mindsets are in the right place. There's ways to actually make, instead of mashed potatoes, you can have cauliflower mashed potatoes. There's ways to do different types of turkey and chicken, right? It's a different, I know it's like a lot of people are like, holy cow, how do you get through Thanksgiving without that? The stuffing and everything else, right? All the yummy stuff. You just make your food differently. You prepare it differently. There's ways to do that. We have all the recipes and everything for those things. But we can make it through Thanksgiving, and then they make it through December, and all of a sudden we fall off the map because we get really busy in December, right, with family and travel and Christmas and those things. But this is the important thing right here, is that they're given stars, they miss a day, guess what they do? They get back on track, they miss a day, they get back on track, they miss a day. They don't quit. You don't quit. If you want to be successful in your life and you want to get to your dreams and your destiny, wherever it is, and you lead to your purpose, you don't quit. You never quit. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how trying it gets, you push through it. You get through it. And that's what's going to give that, again, that testimonial that we want to see. So if you need reminders like this, do it. If you need to put up things around your house, do it. If you need to find accountability partners other than the people sitting next to you and around you that you brought today, do it. When you come into the office, you're like, hey, are you doing the challenge, Paul? How's it going, man? How is the challenge going for you this week? And he might say, it's going great. Or he might, oh man, I'm struggling. It's really hard. And then it's up to us. What do we do with Paul? We lift him up. We get him back on track. Because we care about him. We're a family. And this is what we do. Right? It's all about the people that you surround yourself with. And how do we do it? The monotony leads to the miraculous. There is no other way. If you need stuff like this to have monotonous in your life that leads to miraculous, do it. If you need to have more and more affirmations and more things, then do it. Whatever's going to help you. We all work differently. We all respond to different stimuluses. We all respond to different situations. Some of us are more verbal. Some of us are visual. Some of us are more thinkers. Whatever it is that gets you going, those are the things that you need to find in your life that keep you motivated. Are we going the right way or the wrong way? Your choice. Are we going the right way or the wrong way? We are very toxic. Everything around us is super toxic. Everything we touch, everything we come into contact with. This is one of the most important things of why I do not like calories and those diets that look at calories, because this is it. We have far too many people counting calories than counting the chemicals inside. Right? Far too many people counting calories and not enough people counting the chemicals in our food. This is it. Chemicals, I promise you, will disrupt the hormones, the receptors, put you out of balance in your body. That leads to more weight loss than counting your calories. Start looking at our foods. Start looking at what we're putting inside. Start looking at, are we toxic? Do I need to detox? Do I need to go through these things in order to get my body back on track? That's one of the whole things about this juicing, right? It's a detox. It gives our bodies a break. It helps repair. It repairs the gut. It repairs your immune system. In 3 days, you will reset your immune system by juicing. In 3 days, you make your immune system stronger. In 3 days, you make your gut stronger. You make the diverticulitis, the colitis, you make that settle down. Then we add in probiotics or whatever it is. You get your gut right. That's the whole power of juicing right here. It gives your body a break. It lets it repair. It lets it reestablish itself. That's why it's so important. And then we throw in intermittent fasting that helps even balance your hormones even more. So, by cleansing your body on a regular basis, eliminating toxins as much as possible from your environment, your body can heal itself. prevent disease, become stronger and more resilient than ever dreamed of possible. That was actually by a medical doctor. Detox, guys. Detox our bodies. We are super, super toxic in this world. Here it is. Your body, the more toxic it becomes, the more fat it will retain. The reason being is because fat is a buffer. It absorbs the toxins. It protects your organs. It protects your cells. It protects the neurology in your body. So the more toxic we are, the more we're going to put on. Toxins are fat soluble. They live in there. So the more that we do metabolic conditioning, the more we build lean muscle tissue so that we can actually burn the fat, we get rid of the toxin just through exercise. It's that important. So that's why we do the metabolic conditioning. The body produces a layer of protective fat to minimize the impact of toxins. We saw that 8-year-old boy in the beginning. If you remember that, thin on the outside, right? Fat on the inside. This is it, right? This is why it's important, because the more fat that we take on, the more it squeezes down in our organs, the more it squeezes down in our body, choking us, eliminating us from life. Expert estimate that 98% of those who are significantly overweight are leptin resistant. 98% of people that are overweight are leptin resistant. So how do we balance those hormones? It's because of these toxins, and most of which are due to an onslaught of these toxins that we're taking in on a daily basis. The importance of detox in our lives is super important. These are the things that we run into. BPAs, dioxins, atrazines, phthalates that are in sugar or in plastics. We run into fire retardants that are on your mattresses, on the carpets. They're on clothing now, fire retardants, right? So these are things, you guys, this is what's crazy. Is we can't ever get away from toxins. They found fire retardants in polar bears. How does it get into polar bears, right? Well, you look at, well, it could be the water, right? It could be the people going to that type of the region, and then they leave a footprint in that region, and then the polar bear eats stuff. It gets inside of them. It's in our environment. It's everywhere. You'll drive yourself absolutely nuts by trying to avoid every single toxin. But how do we minimize it? How do we get rid of it? How do we go through a good detox? We look at PFCs, pesticides. Pesticides are on the rise. It's in corn. It's in all of our crops. The GMOs. You look at back to that. Let's talk about that Zika. Is it Zika? Right? Zika virus. Let's talk about that for a second. Just 1 second. So. The Zika virus has been around for nearly 70 years. They discovered it 70 years ago. Thousands of people have the Zika virus. And in fact, there's about 4,000 people in Colombia that have been diagnosed with Zika virus. Guess how many of them have neurology problems?
0.
0. Thank you. Brazil, where they're finding all these neurological imbalances, they find this little population of pregnant women. And guess what they started doing with these pregnant women about a year ago?
Giving them a virus.
Not giving them a virus. They
They
started to vaccinate them, and they started to spray, DTaP, and they started to spray a chemical to kill, right, to kill the mosquitoes in the area. So now we put a pesticide into them, and we vaccinate them with more poison, and guess what it leads to a year later? Follow the knowledge, guys, not the news. Read. Educate yourself. This is real. This is the reality of what's going on in our country and in our system right now. Pesticides, lead and mercury. Mercury, one of the biggest things in mercury and lead comes from our teeth, our amalgams. If you have silver amalgams in your mouth, you're having mercury expelled into your body on a daily basis. In fact, it's going directly into your brain. If you have silver amalgams. Now, don't rush out and obviously get them removed right now. You have to have a special dentist that actually can rubber stop and dam them. They use a vacuum, and they extract them right, and they put the right type of sealant back on your teeth. These are some things that, even if it's one a year that you're getting out of your body, it's one less thing that's producing mercury or toxins in your body. Lead comes from lead pipes, all the old lead pipes that run through our cities and everything. If you're drinking city water, guess what? You mostly likely have lead. You probably have estrogen, high estrogen. If you don't think you're on a medication, you're on medication. If you're drinking public city water, okay? They find these things in our water. High estrogen because of feminine products that get flushed down toilets. Please, just be aware of the sources and what you're putting into the body. And arsenic is one of the last ones. Your success determines the 5 people that you surround yourself with. Who are the 5 closest people in your life? The 5 closest people. You will be a direct reflection of those 5 closest people over the course of the next 6 months to a year. So if you want to live 5 essentials and you want to have a better life, well, surround yourself, get plugged in with people that are living that lifestyle. If you're weak and lacking in your spiritual life, well, get connected to the people that are stronger than you in that area. If you have somebody that you want to have a better marriage, Well, surround yourself with people that have amazing marriages and watch what they do. If you want to be better in business, well, surround yourself with people that are amazing in business and doing well. Surround yourself with people that are already doing it so that over the course of the next 6 months to a year, you become more like that person that you want to be. Also, staying congruent with your purpose in your walk. That's the biggest thing. It's right there. So let's talk about this challenge. Right? Let's talk about this challenge. Did everybody get signed up or get their name on that
I have it.
sheet? Anybody else want to add their name that did not write anything down on it or switch anything? So, here's the challenge, and here's what it is. So, every single morning, all the instructions are right on here. This is what gets emailed to you. So this packet that I'm holding in my hands right now, either you get the juicing one with food, or you'll get the one with just food only. Okay? Every single one of them has instructions, just like this on this first page, just like this. And here's the plan. It says that you start every morning with 8 ounces of water, even if you're on the juice stuff, okay? Even if we're juicing those 3 days, you begin every single morning with 8 ounces of cold water, fresh lemon juice, followed by 2 tablespoons of organic, extra virgin refined coconut oil. And then we put in vitamin D, 5,000 IU with probiotic, which obviously is something that we've already talked about to get the gut flora right, to make sure that you're absorbing. So that's how you start your morning, right there. Then, if you're on the juicing plan, at 8, 10, 12, 2, 4, and 6 is when you take in 8 ounces of juice. 8 ounces of juice every single time. So you're taking in 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48 ounces, which is 3 bottles of juice every single day. Now, drink lots of water throughout this, right? And through this, we want to increase our water intake. It also says that if we get hungry, you're reaching for nuts, raw organic nuts, cashews, almonds, walnuts. That's what we're putting in if we're having these hunger things. It's all about balancing our hormones, giving our bodies a break, putting in as little as we possibly can, letting our bodies go through kind of this fast and this detox. That's what this whole juicing period is about. Then, after 3 days, we enter into more of the food. The food is laid out, so 12, 2, 4, and 6. 12 o'clock, huh? Where's breakfast? And, which one did you